Why doesn't Amsoil have the same OEM approvals as Mobil 1, Castrol, or Pennzoil? If it's such a premium oil, why isn't it certified by every major car manufacturer? I've had customers ask me this dozens of times, and the internet is full of conspiracy theories. Some people think manufacturers are blocking Amsoil to protect their own oil sales. Others think Amsoil can't actually pass the tests. After 20 years in this industry and digging into how OEM approval actually works, I'm going to show you the real reason, and it's not what most people think. Let's start with what OEM approval actually means. When you see dexos approved or meets Ford WSS M2C946A on an oil bottle, that means the oil has been submitted to the manufacturer, tested according to their specifications, and officially licensed to carry that certification mark. It's not just about the oil being good enough, it's a formal business relationship between the oil company and the automaker. Here's what most people don't understand. Getting OEM approval costs serious money. We're talking about fees that can run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars per certification. You have to pay for the testing. You have to pay for the licensing rights to use the manufacturer's certification mark. And you have to pay annual renewal fees to keep that approval active. For a company like ExxonMobil or Shell, those costs are spread across millions of gallons of oil sold globally. For a smaller company like Amsoil, the math works differently. Let's use GM's dexos certification as an example. To get dexos approved, an oil company has to submit their product to GM's approved testing labs. The oil goes through a series of tests: oxidation resistance, deposit control, wear protection, fuel economy, emissions compatibility. Those tests aren't cheap. We're talking $50,000 to $100,000 just for the testing phase. Then, if the oil passes, there's a licensing fee to use the dexos logo, and every year after that there's a renewal fee. On top of that, GM can require reformulation testing if they update their specifications, which means more costs down the road. Now here's the key question. Does Amsoil need dexos approval to be used safely in a GM vehicle? No. Here's why. The dexos specification is public. Any oil manufacturer can look at the requirements, the viscosity grades, the performance benchmarks, the chemical limits, and formulate an oil that meets or exceeds those standards without paying for official certification. Amsoil does exactly that. Their signature series oils meet Dexos 1 Gen 3 specifications. They publish the data showing they passed the performance tests, but they don't pay GM for the right to print Dexos approved on the bottle. Some people hear that and think, well, if they meet the spec, why not just get the approval? And the answer comes down to business strategy and cost-benefit analysis. Amsoil sells directly to consumers and through independent dealers. They don't sell to GM dealerships. They don't have contracts with quick lube chains that service thousands of GM vehicles daily. Their customer base is people who specifically seek out Amsoil because they want a premium synthetic oil and they're willing to pay for it. Those customers aren't looking at the bottle to see if it says dexos approved. They're looking at the performance data, the formulation, and Amsoil's reputation. For Amsoil, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to get dexos certification doesn't make financial sense when their oil already meets the technical requirements and their customers don't require the logo. That's a business decision, not a performance issue. Let's talk about Ford as another example. Ford has their own specifications: WSS M2C946A for gasoline engines, WSS M2C171E for diesel trucks. Same story. Amsoil formulates oils that meet these specs. But getting official Ford approval requires testing fees, licensing fees, and ongoing costs. Amsoil's position is, we meet the spec, we publish the data, and our customers trust that. They've chosen not to chase every OEM certification because the return on investment isn't there for their business model. Now, does this create any risk for consumers? That's the real question. If you're under warranty and you have an engine failure, can the dealership deny your claim because you used oil that wasn't officially certified? Technically, under the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, a manufacturer can't void your warranty just because you used a different brand of oil, as long as that oil meets the required specifications. But here's the reality. If you're in a warranty dispute and the dealership sees you used Amsoil instead of dexos-approved oil, they might push back. You'd have to prove that Amsoil meets the spec, and that could mean a fight. For some people, that risk isn't worth it. For others, they're confident in the oil and they're willing to stand their ground. Let me give you a real-world example. I had a customer with a 2018 Chevy Silverado with the 5.3-liter engine. He ran Amsoil Signature Series 5W30, which meets Dexos 1 Gen 2 specs. At 80,000 miles, he had a lifter failure, a known issue on those engines, by the way. Nothing to do with oil. He took it to the dealership under powertrain warranty. They asked what oil he used. He said Amsoil. The service advisor raised an eyebrow and said, "That's not Dexos approved." My customer pulled out Amsoil's technical data sheet showing it meets Dexos 1 Gen 2 performance requirements. The dealership covered the repair under warranty. But he had to advocate for himself. If he hadn't known the law and hadn't had the documentation, it could have been a problem. That's the trade-off. Amsoil gives you a premium product that meets the specs, but you don't get the simplicity of pointing to an OEM-approved label if something goes wrong. Now let's talk about European approvals. ACEA, VW 504-507, BMW LLL1, Mercedes-Benz 229.5. These are even more expensive to obtain than domestic approvals. European manufacturers often require oils to be tested at specific labs in Germany. The costs can run into 6 figures per approval. And here's the kicker. Many European OEM approvals require the oil to be tested in specific engine models over thousands of hours of operation. That's not just expensive, it's time-consuming. Amsoil has some European approvals for specific products, but they don't chase every single one. Again, it comes down to cost versus benefit. Does that mean Amsoil can't be used in a European car? No. It means you have to do your homework. If your BMW requires LLO1 certified oil and Amsoil doesn't have that certification for the product you're considering, you either use a different Amsoil product that does have the approval, or you use a different brand. It's that simple. Here's what I tell people. OEM approval is about 2 things: legal liability and marketing access. From a legal standpoint, car manufacturers want to control what goes into engines under warranty so they can minimize claims. From a marketing standpoint, oil companies want those certifications so they can sell to dealerships and big box retailers. Amsoil operates outside that system. They meet the technical requirements, but they don't play the certification game because their business model doesn't require it. Now, I want to address the conspiracy theories. Some people think car manufacturers are deliberately blocking Amsoil because they want to sell their own branded oil or because they have deals with big oil companies. That's not how it works. The approval process is open to any oil manufacturer willing to pay the fees and pass the tests. Amsoil could get Dexos approval tomorrow if they wanted to write the checks. They've chosen not to for business reasons. On the flip side, some people think Amsoil doesn't get approvals because their oil can't actually pass the tests. That's also not true. Amsoil publishes third-party test data showing their oils meet or exceed the performance benchmarks required by most OEM specs. The chemistry is there, the performance is there, the certification logo just isn't because they didn't pay for it. So here's my take after 2 decades of working on engines. OEM approval matters most if you're under warranty and you want 0 risk of a dispute. If that's your priority, use an oil that carries the specific certification your manufacturer requires. Mobil 1, Castrol, Pennzoil, Valvoline, they all have extensive OEM approvals because they've invested in that certification process. But if you're out of warranty, or if you're confident in your ability to document that your oil meets the spec, Amsoil is a perfectly valid choice. The oil itself performs. The lack of certification logos doesn't mean the oil is inferior. It means Amsoil made a business decision not to spend money on certifications that their target customers don't require. Here's the bottom line. Amsoil doesn't get OEM approval everywhere because approvals are expensive, time-consuming, and not necessary for their business model. They meet the technical specs, they publish the data, but they don't pay for the logos. That's a calculated business decision, not a performance shortcoming. Whether that matters to you depends on your situation. If you're under warranty and you want the path of least resistance, stick with OEM-approved oils. If you're willing to do a little homework and you want Amsoil's formulation, you can use it confidently as long as it meets your vehicle's specifications. What's your situation? Are you running a car under warranty or are you past that point? Drop a comment with your vehicle and I'll tell you whether OEM approval should matter for your specific case. And if this explanation finally cleared up the confusion around certifications, hit that like button. A lot of people get this wrong, so share this with anyone who's ever wondered why Amsoil doesn't have every approval under the sun. Next week, I'm diving into whether Amsoil's extended drain intervals are actually safe or if they're pushing the limits too far. That's a controversial one, and I've got real oil analysis data to show you. If you're not subscribed, hit that button now, drop a comment. I respond to every single one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.